That's a New York City public school signature. Hey, look, I can read. That's what we do.
Greetings, greetings. How's vacation?
Delightful.
Delightful. How's Madagascar?
It's a beautiful country, I'd say. Huh? It's a long way, though.
Yeah, how long is the flight is that?
It's 3 flights to get from my final destination.
3 flights? Oh, you lost me right there. There's no way. No.
31 hours.
Never. You couldn't pay me to be there. No way.
31 hours.
I checked them too.
I won't even take one connecting flight anywhere. If there's not a...
I love when you get a letter like this. Somebody actually took this. That's very nice.
No, go ahead. I know you operate under pressure. Did she write that she was in a... When you girls are ready, I'm going to start the meeting.
We're rolling.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order with a short prayer and a salute to our flag. Almighty God, grant us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of all our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation, and may He watch over and protect our servicemen and women now guarding the gates of freedom. Salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Terry, notice of publication?
Yes, Mayor, take notice that this regular meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council being held on this 28th day of November 2016 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Buchanan.
Here.
Grillo.
Here.
Kilpatrick.
Here.
Lembo.
Here.
Novak.
Here.
Rittenhouse.
Here.
Okay, before we begin the swearing in of our new police captains, lieutenant, and sergeant, I received a letter from a resident, and I wanted to read it quickly, even though I know retired Captain Skarzinski is rushing to his job at the hospital. So I'll make it quick, Captain. Mayor O'Brien, I want you to know of the high caliber and sense of community one of your young police officers displayed. On September 9th, Officer Jeffrey Taylor and another young officer came to my home to assist my sick husband from his recliner to his bed. Both men were skilled and gentle since he was in pain. On November 4th, my husband Paul passed away at home. The hospice nurse called the police department, and once again, Officer Taylor came to my home and offered his condolences. A brief time later, there was a knock at the door, and Officer Taylor presented me with a beautiful bouquet of white flowers for him. I was touched and amazed. Officer Taylor's gesture brought light to a very sad day. And I want everyone in Sayreville to know this is not an uncommon letter for me to receive about our first responders, and particularly our police department. In this day and age, where you read some horrific things being done to the police of the United States of America, I wanted you to see the other, or hear about the other side of the story. We can be very proud of our policemen and women in the borough of Sayreville. They always conduct themselves to the highest professional standards. They are a credit to our community and a credit to our nation. And with that, I want to call our police chief, John Zabrowski, forward for tonight's ceremony.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Mayor, thank you very much for reading that letter. I think everyone from the police department would tell you that it's usually the simplest of services that we provide that are the most important, and I think that's indicative of that. Many of you are probably getting tired of seeing me so often up in front of the mayor and council. Most of the time we're talking about hiring new officers and introducing them, or new promotions. But the truth of the matter is that the Sayreville Police Department over the last couple of years has been in transition. We're moving from an opportunity where we've had not a lot of movement, because we've had a number of officers that have been staying for quite some time, to an opportunity now where we're seeing great transition because of retirements, and this year was no exception. And in fact, it maybe was the exception in the fact that the number of retirements has begun to increase as it has. And in fact, this year we recognize the not loss, but the retirement and celebration of one of our own command staff, which is Captain Glenn Skarzinski. And if you would, I'd ask a round of applause for his great years of service to the department. Now, just to let you know, Glenn really hates that type of attention, so I was glad to do it for him. There's good and bad about this transition. The bad about the transition is that we lose our experienced officers and we lose our friends, and that's a tough thing to have to deal with. The good thing is that we've put in place such a training and mentoring program that the transition from new officer, for new promotion to new supervisor is seamless. So we're in great shape when that comes to it. But I will tell you that this is probably not the last time you're going to see me. I see that this transition is going to continue for some time. That's good also, because we are able to take a lot of new information, new officers that are aggressive and want to be able to expand their responsibilities, and an opportunity for the department to grow so that you can experience things such as what Officer Jeff Taylor had done in that case. So tonight, I want to introduce to you our newest command staff officer, as well as our newest sergeant. Now, our newest sergeant is Tom Sheehan. Now, Tom has been a very experienced officer within the department. He's held a number of different responsibilities, the most of which is that as a field training officer. So he is already mentoring many of the officers that I've introduced over the last couple of years. And besides that, he has probably been, over the last several years, our highest officer in DUI arrests. So he's extremely aggressive, making sure that our town and our community is safe. And I'm going to ask if he could come forward so he could get sworn in. I also ask his family to come forward and to congratulate his brother as well, who from the Linden Department is a newly promoted sergeant as well.
Under the authority of the people. That I will faithfully. Impartially.
impartially,
justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of Sergeant of the Saraville Police Department
all the duties of Sergeant in the Saraville Police Department
of the Borough of Saraville
for the Borough of Saraville
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability,
So help me God.
so help me God. Tom, you need to sign the paperwork to get
You
paid.
gotta come all the way back.
Now it's my great opportunity to introduce you to our newest captain, now commanding the Uniform Patrol Division. And before he did that, Dan Plumacher was lieutenant for administration. And much of the transition I talked about, with the change to an accredited program, to the mentoring, to the field training officer, and all that, was basically his responsibility. And that was a great responsibility. He did a wonderful job at that. So I now know that as the commanding officer of the patrol division, he's going to be just an excellent addition to our command staff. And I really look forward to working with him over the next couple of years. And just one last thing. He recently attended the Command and Leadership Program that was hosted by the New Jersey Chiefs Association. And in typical Saraville fashion and in typical Dan Plumacher fashion, he was the #1 candidate. So if I could, now Captain Dan Plumacher.
They're trying to get your picture.
And if you have to insert your name,
I, Dan Plumacher,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of captain of the Saraville Police Department
the duties of captain of the Saraville Police Department
of the Borough of Saraville,
of the Borough of Saraville
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Kevin. Well done.
Steve, did you see this?
I didn't show anything. No. Thank you, Mayor.
Huh? I thought we were doing 3.
Motion to adjourn. Kenny, motion to adjourn.
Terry, first order of business?
Mayor, under the first order of business, we have a public hearing on the following ordinance. Ordinance number 349-16, bond ordinance amending bond ordinance number 343-16, finally adopted on September 12, 2016, by the Borough of Sayreville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, in order to provide for a change in the improvements in Section 20 expenses authorized by such ordinance.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on this ordinance. Are there any questions or comments? There being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion. Councilwoman Novak.
Yes, Mayor. Excuse me. I move that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Novak?
Yes.
Buchanan?
Yes.
Grillo?
Yes.
Kilpatrick?
Yes.
Lembo?
Yes.
Rittenhouse?
Yes.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on the consent agenda. Are there any questions on consent agenda items? There being no questions, I'll entertain a motion. Council President?
I move the public portion be closed and the consent agenda resolution items be approved on roll call vote.
Second.
Roll call?
That was Councilman Lembo, second? Grillo, thank you. Councilpersons Buchanan?
Yes.
Grillo?
Yes.
Kilpatrick?
Yes.
Lembo?
Yes.
Novak?
Yes.
Rittenhouse?
Yes.
Counselor, is there anything for executive session? No, sir. Okay. At this time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on any and all issues. Are there any questions or comments? There being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Take a motion to open the agenda portion of the meeting. Please stand for a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Terry, statement of publication.
Take notice that this agenda session meeting of the Mayor Borough Council being held on the 28th day of November 2016 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Buchanan?
Here.
Grillo?
Here.
Kilpatrick?
Here.
Lembo?
Yep.
Novak?
Here.
Rittenhouse?
Here.
Okay, under committee reports, Administration and Finance, Councilwoman Novak.
Yes, under A, as the minutes and department reports are listed under 1, 2, 3, and 4, motion to receive and file.
Is there a second?
Second.
Next item.
Under B, look for approval for the bingo or raffle licenses as listed on the agenda 1 and 2.
Is there any objection? Next item.
Under C, authorization to an annual license for the calendar year 2017 for barber and beauty shop, junkyard, private horse stables, temporary trailer, and motel applications.
Are there any objections? Next item.
Okay, notice of retirement for Mary Ann Hefner from her position as the tax assessor's office effective December 31st.
Is there a second?
Second.
Anything else, Councilwoman?
Just one thing. After I had asked the water department, Vicki had looked up and found out about some filters that homeowners can purchase that will remove this chromium-6 from the water. I asked Dan, and is there any report on whether there's something that can attach to our water system itself?
The research is being done by our water and sewer director. I will probably have an answer for you at the next council meeting exactly.
Thank you.
Anything else, Councilwoman?
No, I just hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Okay, Planning and Zoning, Councilman Grillo.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I move that the following minutes, reports be received and filed. The construction official, zoning and code enforcement, and fire prevention reports, all for the month of October 2016.
Second.
Next item?
A couple of things, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, as listed. A notice to adjacent property owners and surrounding municipalities received from the town of East Brunswick, an application to the zoning board, an application to the Old Bridge zoning board, a request for a project on Route 9, and an application to the planning board as well.
Is there a second? Next
Uh,
item?
Received the following planning board resolution, which was memorialized on October 5th, 2016, from Riverside Supply Company, Inc., 6 Washington Road, Block 62.02, Lots 3, 3.01, 3.02, Blocks 424, Lot 1.04, resolution of compliance.
Is there a second? Next item?
That's all, Mr. Mayor, with that progress.
Thank you. Public Safety, Councilman Lumbo.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the following reports be received and filed. The Board of Health reports for the month of October, Court Administrator's report for the month of October, as well as the Police Chief's report for the month of October.
Second.
Anything else, Councilman?
Other than that, progress, Mayor.
Thank you. Public Works, Councilwoman Kilpatrick.
Thank you, Mayor. Move the following minutes and reports be received and filed. The Public Works Supervisor's reports for buildings and grounds, parks, recycling, roads, sanitation, garage services, all for the month of October 2016.
Second.
Anything else, Councilwoman?
That's all progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Water and Sewer, Environmental, Councilman Rittenhouse.
Thank you, Mayor. Minutes of the following department reports. Move the following minutes and reports to be received and filed. Water and Sewer Director report for the month of October 2016.
Is there a second?
Second.
Next item.
Notice of retirement of Kevin Kanya from his position in the Water and Sewer Department effective December 31st, 2016.
Is there a second?
Second.
Next item.
Received notice from the NJDEP seeking public comment on their intent to approve a significant modification to an approved air pollution control operating permit for Parlin Holdings LLC, 790 Washington Road.
What action is needed on that?
If there are no comments, questions or comments, so just receive and file.
Jay, do you have any questions or comments?
Mayor, this is the existing DuPont cogeneration
Right.
plant. They're combining two permits into one, so
Okay.
there's really no action needed.
All right. Everybody in agreement, receive and file?
Yes,
Second.
Okay. Next item, Arthur.
that's it. Other than that, progress. Thank you,
Thank
Mayor.
you. Recreation, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the following minutes be received and filed. The Rec Director's report of the month of October 2016.
Second.
Next item.
This Sunday, December 4th, 5:30 PM, there's going to be a holiday parade down Main Street to Borough Hall, where there'll be a tree and menorah lighting to celebrate the season. Local organizations will be invited on stage to perform a few songs. Going to be free hot chocolate and cookies, along with pictures with Santa. And that'll be done in front of Borough Hall, so everyone's invited to come on out. Hopefully we get some great weather on that. Lastly, registration is ongoing for all after-school programs at the Samsel Upper Elementary School. Please visit cerebralrec.com for registration and program information. Other than that, progress, Mayor.
Thank you. Business Administrators Report, Dan Frankel.
Thank you, Mayor. We need to have a review and discussion on a 2017 annual meeting schedule that's in your packet. The clerk has prepared the schedule. We have two conflicts. One is for April, the first meeting in April. Because of holidays, we would like to consider go from Monday, April 10th, I believe, to Tuesday, April 11th.
Is there any objection? Next item,
And then,
next issue,
was
Dan?
there one other, Terry, is there another conflict? Did anybody else have any other conflicts?
No, Mayor, other than, I don't know if the mayor and council want to consider combining the meetings during the summer months and just have one month for the one meeting?
Wayne, we've tried that before. It had more to do with paying the bills than it had to do with anything else.
If we made it the third.
Yes, but I mean, other towns have one meeting a month.
Wayne, last time this came up, it was all about being here to approve bills and pay the bills.
I don't think it's only that, but
No,
a lot of things has to do with
it was only that,
vacation
Wayne.
schedules and everything too, so.
All right, so July and August will go to one meeting.
For the months of July and August?
For the month of July, one meeting. For the month of August, one meeting.
Should we make it?
Not one for both.
Yeah, that would be cool. should we have it?
Just pick it out, Terry.
As
I will,
opposed to the
I will.
second
All
or
right,
third?
let Terry
I'll look at the
coordinate it
month
with
and the
Wayne,
schedule, see how the
so
weeks
that it's
fall.
effective for paying the bills.
Sounds good to me.
But that's all, Mayor.
Okay. Hey, next item, Dan?
Mayor, authorization to execute a contract with Lifetime Benefit Solutions for processing COBRA benefits for current clients and future retirees formerly covered by AmeriHealth.
Okay, next
An
item?
authorization to appoint 5 pumping station operators at Duhernal effective December 1st, 2016. Resolution memorializing the appointments will be listed on the December 19th, 2016.
Next item?
That's it, Mayor?
Okay, CFO's report, Wayne Kronowski.
The first item will be a transfer resolution for the next meeting. The second item is deals with the funds that we received from the sale of the sanitary sewer capacity in our Melrose pumping station. I'm looking for permission to apply it to the Crossman sanitary sewer pump station in lieu of bonding.
Any objection? Next item?
Mayor, could we have some discussion on that? I mean, I know that we had previously put that money aside and looking to use it as a down payment for a,
Well, if we have the money and we don't have to expand the bonding, it's always better to not expand the bonding.
we're either going to bond for one thing or
No,
another.
I understand, but that's just my opinion. I'm not speaking for the whole governing body. But when we cannot bond, when we have surplus cash, for whatever reason, and we can do a purchase outright, the taxpayers would appreciate it.
Exactly how much of that money will be used, Wayne? I know we discussed it, but I cannot remember exactly how much it was.
What's the amount of the contract?
I believe it's approximately 2 million.
Yeah, so probably about 2.5 million for all costs, you know, the engineering, what have you, so it would probably be about 2.5 million then.
What would that leave us with?
I don't remember, what did we get, 3 or 4 for that? Four, so it's probably gonna leave about, close to $1 million left.
I always find when you have a growing balance, governing bodies it just burns a hole in their pocket. They're gonna buy something, so I'd rather have them buy something like this, which is necessary for sanitation, rather than anything else. It just makes more sense. You know, in the years we've had large cash surpluses, we've always gone on some kind of shopping spree where we could say, well, we have the money in the bank, and we bought the item or items, and then we don't have the money in the bank. So I would rather not, I would rather take the $2.5 million, not borrow it, pay it outright, and that's done.
It just that, yeah, I just want to, we have been keeping it for a down payment on the maintenance facility. We're either going to be borrowing it for one thing or the other, and as long as everybody
Now,
realizes.
first thing that comes up, let's pay cash for it. We have an excellent credit rating, and the state of New Jersey, that's why they put caps on it. They do not want municipalities to grow large budget surpluses because it's generally not spent wisely. And I don't have any reason to object to that conclusion from the state.
How does everybody else feel?
Is anybody against purchasing outright this pumping
Where are we with the maintenance facility? It hasn't been brought up in a few months.
Dan?
Maybe Jay can give a little update on that.
The borough retained an architect to work with your public works director and come up with plans for the project. The plans were prepared, they were reviewed by the various department heads, and they were finalized and sent for review by the committee. So there are architectural plans that were prepared based upon the recommendation of Public Works Department.
What's the price tag, the approximate price tag on it?
That hasn't been finalized yet, Mayor. The architect.
What's the ballpark?
It's in the 15 million range.
$15 million for a public works garage.
I agree.
Does that include the
seems a little
cost of the
too high.
land?
I wish it was cheaper.
That does not include land, no.
I think that's gonna be a very long discussion, 15 million for a public works garage. I think people would feel pretty comfortable on a sanitary sewer pump station. They want it to go downhill.
It was a good one, Mayor.
All right, just based on my experience up here, a $15 million public works is gonna be a long discussion.
Well, I can't, I mean, without seeing the actual architectural designs and things like that, but that seems excessive to me as well.
No, it's not, it may be right on the money, it may be right on the money, Vicki. I'm not saying we're overspending, we're underspending. It's like you say, I want a new coat, and you have $100 in mind, and you go out and you see one you like, and it's $1,000. Not that it's not worth $1,000,
Yeah, no,
but you don't have $1,000.
I haven't seen enough of it yet since it's
Right,
still in
okay.
committee review.
But
I
let's
mean,
move
15
ahead.
sounds a lot.
I would ask my colleagues to move ahead on the sanitary sewer. Are there any objections to moving ahead? All right, so, I mean, we can always object at the next resolution, but tonight there are no objections. Next item, Wayne?
This is for a resolution for a dedication by rider for emergency demolition fund. What this will do is, we've had, this, I think, about our third demolition in town for unsafe properties that were
Right.
abandoned. The lien gets put on the property, and when the property is sold, or if and when it's sold, the lien money would be put into the demolition fund to use again for any demolition that is required. Right now, we have to take the funds out of a budget or some other place in order to do these demolitions, and generally, they're not foreseen, okay? It's not something that, when the construction official deems it unsafe, then we have to go in and go through the demolition process. So, a lot of towns have this now, and it's a good way of funding that work, that demolition work.
Okay, any objection? Next item?
Sounds good to me.
The next item is is a resolution canceling some improvement authorization balances that are no longer needed. They're small balances. The resolution, I don't know, it wasn't part of the packet, was it?
No.
No. It's
Is this a housekeeping
it's
item,
about, it's a
Wayne?
housekeeping item at the end of the year.
Are there any objections to
There's
the
about four.
housekeeping item?
There's three items totaling, really, $58,000 between the three of them, three ordinances. And it
Just make
gets
sure
the
it's-
balances off the books and,
Just make sure that that's in the package so everybody can review it.
okay.
Thank you.
And that the funds go to fund, to pay off existing debt.
This
That's
is
the
every
only-
year, every year we do this.
Yes, actually, last year, we didn't have any balances to cancel, so we didn't have one, we didn't have it last year. We generally do have it almost every year, though.
Right,
So,
okay.
that's all I have.
Thank you, Wayne. Borough Engineers Report, Jay Cornell.
Thank you, Mayor. First item is the site improvements for the former Bordentown Water Treatment Plant. That project's nearing completion. We're recommending a change order be adopted. It's going to reduce the contract by approximately $500. Need a resolution at the next meeting.
Next item.
Second item is the Quaid Avenue project. That also is nearing completion. We're recommending a change order be adopted. There's not going to be any change in the contract amount.
Kind of worked its
Okay.
Item 3 is the Lemaire Section 5 project. At the last meeting, you asked us to review a request for release of landscaping bond. All that work has been completed, so we're recommending a resolution releasing the landscaping bond. And then finally, at the last meeting, you had a resident from Hilltop Avenue come and talk about sidewalk installation. I provided you a copy of a report we did back in 2006, so about 10 years ago. We had looked at that. It was approximately $250,000 price tag at that time to go through and put sidewalk in that area. That's something, I guess, if you want to consider, you may want to look at your budget next year.
The problem is we have an ordinance that doesn't allow it. The other thing is I think Pat and Steve, we're gonna have a residents meeting about closing off Lee Avenue. which may negate the need for the sidewalk. I'm not sure, but
That's fine. It was just for the council's information.
I understand. Is there anything else, Jay?
That's it, thank you.
Borough Attorney's report?
No report, Mayor.
Okay, anything for executive session?
No, sir.
This time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on any and all issues. Are there any questions or comments? Being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion to close the
moved.
public portion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Take a motion for
Motion to
adjournment.
adjourn.
Second?
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everyone. Have a nice evening. What time? That's a semi-record. Dan, Steve, do you have those letters? Let me have those letters.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, I got a Human Relations Commission meeting Thursday night. Now, where are we going tomorrow?